Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So looking at the bigger picture, still we have on this chart either a 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup, which is a very bullish one, or something that is also bullish, is just a 1-2 and then a larger 1-2. So either 2 or 3 1-2 setups. Below $1,200, I wouldn't, or let's say below 1,300 actually, I wouldn't really go with a bullish scenario anymore. That is sort of the threshold here below, between 12 and 1,300, where most likely we could actually drop another 50% of there to around about 600, 650. That would then be a bearish scenario. Basically, as long as we're holding here, you could say 1,200, I can still go with a bullish scenario. Below that level, things are going to get very, very difficult for ETH. I just want to mention very clearly these levels to make sure people understand, and that nobody is surprised should we eventually get there, because while I'm not primarily looking for that, it is of course quite a rapid drop, and I just need to mention it so people know what they can expect. But at the moment, what I'm unsure about is, okay, do we have here this green 1-2 and then the yellow 1-2? Or is all of this a wave 1-2? Yeah, that's what I'm a bit unsure about, but it doesn't matter in the short term anyway. Why? Because in the short term, on the shorter time frame, we can't confirm a low in place anyway. And in both scenarios anyway, I would expect another low here, possibly next to 1535 or 1457. I can tell you one thing. I think if we make one more low, which is currently expected, and we go below 1535, which is the 78.6 FIB level, we get a sustained break below that level, I would assume that this green one actually sits up here. Basically that we had 5 waves of the November low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I will start to get clarity that this is what is going on if we go below 1535, because until then, the yellow, this is the support for the yellow wave count, yeah, 1535. Below that, yeah, the 88.7 can also hold, but ideally we avoid a sustained break below 1535 in the yellow wave count. And if we break below it, then I have some clarity that is probably the green one that's playing out. But as I said, in the short term, it doesn't make a difference. So we can easily wait for clarity here, let it play out, and then we can work with the relevant support levels. And in the short term, however, I think we are focused on lower still, because on the weekend we often see corrective price action. And in this case, we have corrective price action, which would be in favor of another low. Yeah. So looking at price action, still tracking an overall bullish scenario. If I get enough evidence, then I may switch bearish at some point, but we're not there yet. Yeah, we're not there yet at the moment. This could still all turn around and go higher in a third wave. That's still the expectation. Of course, I'm cautious due to the strong drop. That is just common sense, I think, and absolutely important. However, the relevant support levels are on the chart, and below 12, 1300, depends on the structure a little bit then, I would turn bearish and expect new bear market lows. But until then, there are bullish scenarios that we can give a chance. Yeah, it also depends along the way then a little bit on the RSI. It will depend a little bit on the structure of the next rally. So we can wait for that next rally to determine if a new bear market low is more likely or not. That will again be determined to a degree on the next by the next rally. So looking at the microstructure now, at least one more low is expected here, because so far we haven't got a confirmed low in place, even though we had an initial reaction to the yellow support area. However, we haven't broken above resistance yet. And if we count the move down of the the July high, we can count 3 waves down. Ideally, I'd like to see 5. So one more low is still very much on the table here, very much expected. Doesn't need it necessarily. The prices can always drop and finish their corrections in a WXY structure. And if we have a WXY structure, then the low could be in. But I will not believe that until I see a sustained break above resistance, which is 17 1720, yeah, 1723 to be exact. At the moment, price action seems corrective. If we see a break above that level and a follow through above 1800, we can say that most likely a low has been established. And the 50% fib level is typically, yeah, what a wave 4 shouldn't cross. So if it crosses it, then we can assume that a low is in. Yeah, and besides, obviously another low could lead us to 1535, then 1457. And down here is sort of the last support for the bullish case. And what we need to be aware, if we go higher, obviously we need to pay attention to the structure of the rally. If it's going to be an impulse or just sort of a correction, which could lead to another move down, this will be determined again by the structure. We can pay attention to that, and I would pay attention to the descending trend line here. If price is turning around, yeah, and will go higher, then we have to pay attention to this descending trend line, this dashed line. It's only two touch points, but I think it could be quite relevant. So I think, what is it really about? At the moment, it's all about, I think, expecting one more low, watching if it will react to any of these support levels, paying attention to this 1720 resistance level. Now, that might even be a bit of a short setup, even though we've obviously already dropped quite a bit. But, just be careful if you do that. But 1723 is key resistance, because this is, obviously we're quite far away from that level now if you trade the micro. But this is the level above which also the sell-off started. Yeah. So this is when the sell-off candle started. It's also the 50% fib level. And we're already trying to get into resistance here, as you can see. But that's normal in a wave 4. So yeah, that's the update at the moment. A pretty slow day, but that's okay after such a rapid week. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.